Tonight, the Lionesses continue their quest to qualify for Euro 2025 against a familiar foe in France. It is a repeat fixture for England just 4 days after a rather frustrating night in Tyneside.
Second in the world, the third at St James's Park. The first of a France double-header is not looking good for Mary Earps. Oh, England worked it well. Best chance of the match so far. Him putting it back, and there is me! Hampton to claw that one out. The Almeida! Oh, it's a lovely goal! On the turn, the net is found. Bronze, promising. Kelly, not quite. Well, part one goes to France. But these two nations will do it all again next week.
It was England's first qualifying defeat in 22 years at the hands of Le Bleu. And tonight they arrive in St Etienne looking for crucial points if they are to qualify for next summer's Euros. Well, Sarina Wiegman, she makes just the one change tonight. Hannah Hampton, she starts in goal over the injured Mary Earps. And following a one-match ban, Hervé Renard is back in the dugout tonight. He makes 2 changes to his French side. A win for them, who have been flawless so far, will clinch automatic qualification with 2 games to spare. Well, the stage is set for round 2 of France versus England, and kick-off at the Stade Geoffrey. Guichard is coming up in 45 minutes. Oh, hello, welcome along. Very delighted to say I'm joined by Ian Wright and Karen Carney. It is wonderful to see you guys as ever. Let's start first of all with last Friday. England coming up short, Righty. What did you make of the whole fixture?
The fixture was very exciting because they've got some very exciting players as well, and obviously it's in a qualification, so you know there's a lot on it. It was quite disappointing from our point of view, simply because I didn't know what our attacking plan was. I didn't think that the players played well enough in whatever we were trying to do, and I think we were quite fortunate to a certain extent with the fact that France weren't as ruthless as they maybe could have been, especially when you look at how shaky we looked at the back.
Karen, the manager, Sarina Wiegman, was saying, I thought we played quite well. Righty's not as impressed with him. Where do you stand?
I think you're playing England second in the world and France third in the world, and I think we're playing a team that are less than 50 days away from hosting an Olympic Games, and I think they're focused on that. And I think for us, if we'd maybe played them after the Olympics, it would be a little bit different. So I think they're fit, firing, and thinking of a tournament in their head, and we're coming to the back end of the season. But I agree we could have played better, but I don't think I've seen us in a World Cup. I've seen us were a bit more like nervous for us. I don't think it was that bad, to be honest, but I think the levels are very even, and it was a tough game.
I want to give you some context then. We mentioned it at the top of the show, but just at the table, you can see it just pop up there. This is a really important game. Leah Williams even said last week after they lost, this is a must-win game. And it gives you an idea. France are just going great guns at the moment. England third. And then France's perfect run means that they got 5 points clear at the top at the moment. And if they win tonight, obviously they qualify and they go through and they kind of have it a little bit more easy in comparison. Only the top 2 qualify automatically, by the way. If you come third, you're going to end up going into the playoffs, which sometimes is a second chance, you know, and another way to go at it. But also, you kind of don't want those extra games. You want to go, especially if you're defending champions, right?
Well, it starts to get more pressurised, you know, especially England being the holders. And you know, you're getting into a situation where you may qualify third. Who knows, maybe that might be what's going to get them to get their form back. They might get down to the pressure of it, might get them to perform a bit better. But they're in the position they're in at the moment because it's not played well enough, you know, in respect of putting teams away.
And also, the next games they've got left, France away, Sweden away, which is just, it's not easy. They've not left themselves in an easy position at the moment. Let's get the thoughts of the manager. Friday's defeat was actually Sarina Wiegman's 50th game in charge. Not the best way to celebrate the big 5-0, but she's going to be hoping for improvements tonight. Let's hear from her now. She's speaking with Katie Shanahan.
Sarina, you've stuck with a similar side following the defeat on Friday. What are the reasons for that?
First of all, that everyone's fit to play. and I think this is the best team to start.
Hannah Hampton is the only change coming into Mary Earps. Were you tempted to make more changes, though?
Well, we take that in consideration all the time. But as I said Friday already, I don't think we played a bad game. We have to do a couple of things better. Basically, final third, our own side and the side of the opponent. And I think we can. So at the end, we decided to bring on the same players as we did Friday.
Ella Toone makes her 50th cap for England. She's told us in an interview before the game that she's nowhere near the player that she wants to be. So how much more is there to come from her?
Yeah, well, I think she has developed very much. I think she's in a good place. She becomes more aware about what she has to do, but also the bigger picture of the game. And that's nice about team sport, that if you're connected really well, then you can play better as a team. So, yeah, I think she can still improve in that. I think defensively she can improve. But I think when we started working together and where she is now, I think she already improved a lot. And I hope still lots of more to come.
And as you know, Serena, there's a lot riding on this game. So are you confident the team will rise to the occasion?
Yeah, I hope so. I think if I see what we done Friday, how we reviewed the game, how we are really... Yeah, we were really aware what we have to do better, and we really want to do that better. That's what we're working on every day. So we had some good sessions. Of course, we had to recover because these are really big games with two very great teams. So yes, I'm confident, and let's see what we bring on the pitch.
Thank you, Serena. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's what the manager has to say. Let's just have a recap then of the team. So as we said before, it's only the one change, and it's between the sticks tonight. Hannah Hampton, she's coming in for the injured Mary Earps, the world #1. It's a hip injury, and that was in the last game that she sustained that. But Serena said, look, it's not as serious as we thought it was, so she's going to be expected to be back in camp for the next game. Have a look at the bench, though, because that's where it gets quite interesting. Alex Greenwood, a potential shout. Some people might be saying, actually, we would like to see her in at centre-back. Williamson and Bright, that is the partnership again tonight. You've got some great young talent on the bench as well, people that we might want to see, like Grace Clinton, for example. Jess Park, I know, is one of Wrighty's favourites. So let's discuss it. Has Serena almost missed the opportunity, Wrighty, to play those young players now, because it gets to this point and they're under pressure?
Yeah, you'd like to maybe have seen them earlier on in certain games just to see how they perform with the other first team players that have been there for a while. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now because, again, it's going to be about the form of the players and their own personal pride in what they've done, because I think, obviously, they can play a lot better than they did the other day, and I think they're going to have to do that now. They've got the opportunity to do it. Only Hannah Hampton's the only change. And so we're going to have to see what France do, because I can't see France doing anything different. They're going to put pressure on us, and we're going to have to be able to deal with the pressure and still try and receive the ball and try and play it through their line so as we can maybe get it to Lauren Hemp, our only real out ball. You know, so it's going to be a tough one, you know, to pick the same team, you know, coming off of the game, what we played the other day. It's going to be interesting to see how they get better than they were.
You miss a lot as well when you miss the likes of Lauren James as well, who's such a focal point at times and could be so destructive, so talented. You've got Grace Clinton on the bench as well. Would you have liked to see a few more changes, or are you in Serena's camp that she has to play her best?
No, I don't think perhaps. I think Grace Clinton's an excellent talent, but you're asking a young player that hasn't played in an FA Cup final, hasn't played. This is a massive game tonight. You're going away to play France. You know, it's not an easy place to go, so I would go with experience. Alex Greenwood there in the shot is probably the one who should feel probably aggrieved not to be in the side. She's been arguably one of the best players in the WSL this season. Centre-back, lovely left foot would give us that balance. That's the only one I'd probably think maybe that deserves to be in. Or another reason would be change shape. We played with 2 centre-forwards in the World Cup, and that was effective and gave Russo a little bit of support. So that's the only thing I might have looked to change.
Righty. Last game, 12 shots, just 2 on target for England. We've been here before where we've all been discussing this lack of clinical edge in the final third and just that final ball. Did it come from the midfield? Was there enough coming through there? Did they create enough?
No, I don't think they did. I felt when you look at the passes, you know, again, I thought that one wasn't a bad one. It should have just been a little bit closer to her. You know, again, you get this situation here. There's no one in the box yet. We still ain't got no one in the box, and it's not a great ball from Lucy, but that's all she could do in that situation. And I just feel that in there, for instance, that's got to go into in the middle there, just on the edge of the box. You know, we end up not passing it into this kind of area quick enough, and then we end up coming out. I think that what's happening, we've got to be braver in those situations. and get the ball into areas where people can turn. Etienne can get on it and maybe do something. You look at the amount of time. She needs an overlap. She needs something. Look how long it's taken. You know, I think that it's very comfortable for France with what they're doing. And then when this ball goes in the box, there's not a lot of movement from the forwards. You know, she's very tightly marked, and it's very difficult for them. I didn't think that we put enough sustained pressure on. I thought the passes, some of the passes were, I don't like saying sloppy, it's such a lazy word to use, but they weren't good enough for the levels that we're at and the players that are playing. So that's why I want to see where the change is going to come from. It needs to all be sharper.
Beth Mead, obviously, the importance of having her back in an England squad is paramount. Did she get the ball enough for you?
I don't think either of our wingers did. I thought Hemp was the absolute threat in the game, if I'm being honest, and my own criticism was not giving her the ball much. And the reason why Beth Mead gets a lot of success is because when Hemp gets the ball and crosses it, Beth Mead is the second centre forward and gets the goal like she did the other day. But look, you know, she's coming back from her injury. Is she at her fittest and sharpest? Probably not, but am I absolutely buzzing to see her back? I am, because I think she's got back to a brilliant level, but I still think there's more for her to come. But I do think our wide players need to get more of the ball. But as Righty said, if you don't use the midfield to get it to them, we're kind of not going to see the best of them.
You must be in a bit of a confused position at the moment, Karen, because
Really?
of course you want her to score more goals for England, don't you? But not that many more, because at the moment, look where she is. She's level with a certain Karen Carney and Eni Aluko, 33 England goals. Very, very soon, you might be pushed down a little bit, Karen. How do you feel about that?
Look, records are to be broken. Rachel Yankee told me that, so I'm happy for
That's
Beth
not what you
Mead.
said off there.
No, exactly, yeah, shush. No, look, I want Beth to go on and score lots of goals. I want her to get to another Euro, so I'll be happy to see that.
Righty, I know you don't like the word sloppy, I'm not going to use it, but defensively, could England have been a bit sharper there too?
I think you have to take into consideration Millie and Leah, how long they've been out as well. I think this was the start, and it looked and organised, but at the same time, I think France have recognised, you know, they're dealing with two players that are not as maybe as match sharp as they should be. I think some of the decisions were very poor. You know what I mean? I think Millie, with the experience she's got in time, she could have got her foot on that. Again, when you look at that, just play it back to her. Let's keep the ball. This one again, out of play. You know, I just think that it's. You know, I'll give Millie that because they've not played. She's been out for a while. Great save from Hampton. But I think that if they're going to play, then they've got to make it easier, make it simpler for themselves in what they're doing things quicker, doing things sharper. You know, this was a disappointing goal as well. You look where they are; they're still deep. You mentioned that to me, Kaz, which is right. But I think when you look at Katoto, when this ball's cleared, I think she's got Jess Park. Now look at Jess Park goes towards now Katoto's free. And I thought that we dealt with her pretty well in the game, but that's what she can do with half a chance. And I thought, too, both of the goals were brilliant goals off of second balls. But I just think that all around, it just needs to all be sharper and tighter, especially as we're not playing well.
Yeah. OK, guys, we'll hear more from these two in just a second, but the French were in a pretty good mood on Friday at St James's Park, of course. So let's show you this. This was basically them in the dressing room, which you'll see in a couple of minutes' time or a couple of seconds' time. If they seal another win tonight, as we said earlier on, qualification for 2025 will be done. This is in the change rooms at St James's. You don't want this happening, not on English soil. Tonight we're in France. We're going to hear from their manager, Hervé Renard, after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll see how they're feeling ahead of tonight's game. Well, we've got 10,000 fans expected in St Etienne tonight. The Lionesses, they got it all to do against a formidable French side who are unbeaten in 21 home matches. Let's hear from their manager, Hervé Renard. He's with Katie Shanahan.
Hervé, a big game tonight with the chance to qualify for the Euros.
Yes, but before we have to think about this second game against England. Like the last Friday, it will be a tough game. I'm sure this evening it will be tougher for us. So we are ready for it.
How are you going to stop them, the European champions?
We showed the best example on the last Friday, so we have to repeat the same effort to be very consistent with a very good team spirit and, of course, like all the time in football, to be efficient.
Khadijatou Diani makes her 100th cap tonight. How do you sum up her success with the French team?
It's a very good player. She's very dedicated for the national team, even for the club. But I'm very happy with Khadi. She's doing a lot of effort and is one of the offensive players able to make the difference all the time.
And Wendy Renard breaks the record for the most appearances as captain of the French women's team. So a special night for her.
Yeah, I always call her Wendy is a boss. So this evening I'm very happy for her, but it will be better with a victory.
Thanks so much. Well done. Thank you.
He's in a delightful mood, isn't he? Look, they must be feeling confident. We just said how good they are at home. This is the team that he is fielding tonight. They make 2 changes from the side that beat England. There's no Sandy Toletti. She's dropped to the bench. So is Delphine Cascarino. In comes Henri and Gaora. So just a couple of changes there. And this side that they are hoping will do the business for them tonight and secure qualification. France, as we say, very, very decent at home. What is it about them at the moment which makes you feel that they are more sharp than England?
Well, I mean, the fact that they can bring Gaora into the team, who for me is one of the best centre midfielders around. But like I said to you at the start of the show, Laura, this is a team that, yes, this is a qualification for the Euros, but this is a team that are hosting the Olympic Games in their home country, and every one of those players is preparing for that. And yes, we've caught them along the way, and I think that's unfortunate for us. If they have a bad moment, they won't be playing in the home Olympic Games, and I think that is also a big factor as to why their form has been formidable. I mean, a manager, he might not be there after the Olympic Games. He's gone specifically to get in for that and to deliver them a trophy, and this is part of their preparation, and it's unfortunate for us. We're playing them before the Olympic Games, and I think that is a factor because they are firing, they're sharper than us, they looked fitter than us the other day, pressed us really well. Big difference for me.
Righty, for all the quality that France have had over the years and maintaining their top 10 status in the world, still haven't really won anything.
No.
Is this side capable of winning something?
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you look at the forwards and like Kaz rightly says, Gaora coming off the bench, arguably one of the best number 8s in the world. With Katoto, great finisher. Diani, Kashawi. I think that 4 in itself and the midfield and how strong they are and how compact they can be. I saw the other day, I thought if they're a bit more ruthless, they could have done even more because I didn't think Katoto had an unbelievable game, but the chance she had, she showed top players like that don't have to do much in respect to touching the ball, they'll finish. So I think that they have easily got a team that's capable of going all the way and winning this tournament because you can see there's a focus to them that, like Karen rightly says, is that they've got their eyes on prizes and this is just another hurdle that they've got to get over. I thought they'd done it well the other day, even though we didn't play our part. Hopefully we'll play our part tonight and give them a real test.
Sets it up nicely for this game, doesn't it? It's also a big occasion for Ella Toone. She's making her 50th appearance for the Lionesses this evening. After the break, we're going to hear a little bit more about her eventful journey and what is still to come from the midfielder. Don't go anywhere. Hello, welcome back. Now, England are making their final preparations over in St Etienne, and for Ella Toone, it will be cap number 50 tonight in what has been a memorable 3 years since making her debut back in 2021. She's been discussing her journey and what's still to come with Katie.
Ella, you ready to go?
Ready.
What am I doing? Clapping it.
Woo!
I do love doing that. That's my favourite thing to do.
Yeah, that's my favourite thing, but
That was hard, that one.
Less.
Shh.
You're on the brink of your 50th cap. How do you sum up your time with England so far?
I think it's gone so fast. I remember my debut game and how much it meant to me to play for England. I remember getting the penalty and I just thought, this will put the icing on the cake if I get the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah, it was an unbelievable feeling. And I think it hit me afterwards. I remember driving home and just thinking about it and crying on the way home of how proud I was and how far I'd come on my journey.
Has your England career been everything you'd ever dreamt of?
Yeah, everything and more, I think. To win a Euros, to play in a World Cup is something that you always dream of as a little girl and a football fan. Stepping out at Wembley, everyone wants to play at Wembley. And yeah, it's been amazing. Every goal that I've scored has been special every time.
Still Toone. Lovely check of the feet, looking for the corner, finds it!
From the Tokyo Olympics, proudest day in an England shirt?
For me to score at Wembley in front of all of our fans in a Euro final against Germany as well just topped it off. I still get goosebumps when I talk about it.
Time and expectation for Etienne!
Is that the best goal you've ever scored?
See, I had this argument with my dad the other day. I think that was probably one of my best goals, but he said the FA Cup final one. I mean, that weren't too bad either, but I think, yeah, the chip, not many people score chips like that. I do like them both, but I'm going to go with the chip and Dad can have the other one. I think my life's changed a lot. I can't walk down the streets of Tills anymore without being recognised, and I think I've learnt to try and be that role model for young girls and boys growing up and wanting to start in their journey, but I feel like I've embraced it and loved every minute of it.
Chest, my head.
There's such competition in the midfield for England. How hungry are you to cement yourself in this England starting lineup?
Yeah, at the start of my England journey, I did start a lot of games, and then throughout the Euros, my role was to come on from the bench. That worked really well. You always want to keep pushing. You always want to fight your way into a squad.
I think she's developing very good. She can score goals. I keep improving on that too. Understanding the game, getting connected with the players around her, both in possession, out of possession, so learning.
France did prove to be a tough test in Newcastle. What needs to improve?
I think just scoring goals. I think that's what wins you games. And obviously for us, we want to defend better on our set pieces. We have high standards of ourselves, so to lose that game off 2 set pieces isn't what we're about, and we know that we can really improve on that. I thought we were the better team. I thought, obviously, France are a great side. They made it really difficult for us. But I thought we dealt with it really well. And yeah, we have that confidence now going into the next game to turn it around.
And finally, Ella, what more is there to come from you?
There's a lot more, I think. I'm nowhere near the player that I want to be. I think there's a lot of improving still to do. I'm still only 24, but there's definitely a lot that I want to improve in my game, and I'm going to make sure that I keep working hard every day to do that.
I think most people are a fan of Ella Toone, and it's interesting seeing her talk about herself there. Karen, you said something a few minutes ago off there about you think that maybe she can be a little bit too hard on herself. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think maybe just a couple of times I've spoken to her and things in the VTs that she's done there. Maybe just relax and enjoy it. I think for me, number 10s have to be free, have to have nothing on their shoulders to just go and express themselves. I can't disagree with, obviously, she's 24 and there's room to develop and to grow, but I just think she should just go and express herself. And maybe if you want to improve, I think the best player for me that's ever played the number 10 position is Kelly Smith. And I think if Ella Toone can watch some clips and watch what Kelly Smith did in terms of movement, how she impacted a game, that would be the player I would urge her to go and watch and try and learn off. But she's a good player, but you know, I wanted to relax a little bit more and enjoy herself.
Righty, she is the only England footballer to score in major tournament, quarter-final, semi-final and final. So she knows how to turn up, and those are a mixture. In the Euros, we saw her come off the bench and score. In the World Cup, she actually scored in the opener against Australia. What do you want to see more from her?
I just think that all she needs to do is just get consistency. We know she plays very consistently for her team. I think she's played 85 out of 88 games for Man United. That's real consistency. She's durable. I think that we've seen that she's got the big goal in her. I think that when she says she wants to continue to improve, I think it's the way she can pace herself maybe through the game, so as you're not seeing her in the game, then all of a sudden she disappears for 15 minutes or so. It's the way she can continue to have an influence on the game. I think one of her best things is this kind of situation, is crashing the box like this. I know you don't want her to be that player that's, she comes off the bench and scores. I think that she's got it in her game and her ability to play her way through games and continue to have an influence on the game consistently. And that's what I think her next step is how does she get that consistent performance at this level? That's what she needs to be thinking about next.
Karen, earlier on you were talking about England's motivation levels and about how maybe they're not quite as high as France's are at the moment, with a major tournament and also a home major tournament literally on the horizon. Are England, when you look at their stats, 3 defeats in the last 7 matches and they've lost 3 of their last 8. Is it a problem of motivation for England, or is it a case of other teams figuring England out a bit more?
No, I don't think it's a case of motivation for England. We want to get there. We want to retain our European Championship. But I think, like I mentioned, for France today, they're in a different place. England, back into the season, probably tailing off. They're peaking. And I think we are in a group of death. We've played Sweden, another top European team, another top team in world football. We have got the group of death here. And I think teams are going to up their game because of our stature and because of who we are. And I do think the players will enjoy a rest this summer, if I'm being brutally honest. And we go again, but we need to qualify.
We do need to qualify, and if they are going to do it tonight, winning is really, really, really important. There's not long to go until we find out exactly what's going to be happening in round 2 of France against England. Teams are going to be out on the pitch next. Do not move a muscle. Only if you're getting a cup of tea, actually. You can do that, but then come back. Kick-off is coming up. Just a few moments until kick-off between France and England. It's round 2. These guys played each other on Friday and it was advantage France. Look, England have a little bit of work to do tonight. Just a reminder, the group that they're in, the group of death, France are top. They're on 9 points. Sweden, who won earlier on, they beat Ireland. Magda Eriksson with the only goal in that game. They're on 7 points. And then England are trailing behind them with 4. So they really need to start picking up some points, and they could do it tonight if they can manage to beat France in France. It's going to be tough, though, isn't it? Hannah Hampton is the one change for Serena Wiedmann. She's getting her chance in goal. Mary Earps, of course, is injured. Hannah, I think she's an amazing player because she can be a bit of a maverick sometimes, and I love that kind of element of her game. Do you back Hannah? Do you think she's got a really good future, potentially as a number 1?
Yeah, I do. I think she's done very well. You know, she's gone to Chelsea. She's done very well. People were thinking she wouldn't have got too many games there, but she has. She's got herself into the England side now. I think she's easily our best footballing goalkeeper. Now it's up to her to get the minutes under her belt so she can build the confidence in this kind of arena, because she's our number 1 at the minute, isn't she?
No, I couldn't agree more. We need a clean sheet from her. You know, yes, she's amazing with her feet, but tonight it's all about that clean sheet for us because it's a must-win game. We have to have a big game performance. We have to show the levels that have won us the Euros and got us to a World Cup final. This is a must-win game for us, and it's not going to be easy on their soil in France against a team that's top of the table and going to the Olympics as well. So we need big game performance tonight from us.
All right, let's see how it pans out then. We're all set to go. It's the number 3 against the number 2 in the world. It is England against France. Can the Lionesses clinch some crucial points tonight? Let's find out. You're in the company of our match commentary team, Siobhan Chamberlain and Seb Hutchinson.
Yes, and first of all, for these two nations, the national anthems. It's France against England, and all the action after this short break. It's on Etienne. France facing England in this Euro 2025 qualifier. The reverse of the fixture which France won on Friday. And a look at the two lineups. Starting with the French side who make two changes from Friday's win. Experienced midfielder Omodine Henry comes into midfield. And PSG captain Guichard also starts after not coming off the bench at St James's Park. With Mary Earps out injured, Hannah Hampton starts after coming off the bench on Friday. The only change from the team that began that reverse fixture. Ella Toon earns her 50th cap and has only not been involved in 2 matches under Serena Wiegmann. Well, France showed what they could do on Friday. Will they be able to repeat that feat? Just a moment or two ago, there was a special moment where the Lyon star, Hadidou Diani, moved to 100 caps for her country tonight and was presented with a special shirt. And there, Aimé Jacquet, the head coach of the French side, the men's French side that won the World Cup in 1998. He was also a player for St Etienne, as well as their rivals Lyon, and he is going to do a ceremonial kickoff. Looking well after all these years on. France's first World Cup triumph in 1998. What about England tonight? Can they make amends for that defeat on Friday, which was tough to take? It's a stadium with an infamous history to English football. But for the Lionesses, an arena where they will aim to redeem the setback at St James's Park as the two sets of players take the knee. Well, away we go, take 2 after a defeat that England's really struggled to swallow. Where do England need to improve, Siobhan?
They need to be better in possession, they need to move the ball about quickly, they need to be tidy, and they need to understand that France are going to press them high up the pitch. We saw there with the first pass back of the game, Millie Bright pressed relentlessly, and that's going to be how France are going to set up today.
France know a win tonight will guarantee their place at the Euros, and they are an even tougher proposition in their own backyard. Here's Millie Bright. Playing out towards that right-hand side. See if England will change the way they approach this one. Stanway stretching for that challenge and fouling. Mabasha, who went down in the warm-up, incidentally. We thought she might be struggling to take part in this, but she seems to have shaken that off. Romagna, the goalkeeper for France, who made an excellent save in particular from Beth Mead on Friday. England did have their chances, but so did France. Williamson played an excellent pass in the build-up to that Beth Mead goal. Reminder that when England can pass it between the lines, through that midfield, they're much more effective. Dean Henry losing it, winning it back, all that experience. Guichard urged on by the crowd in St Etienne. Harshawi to Dali and Henry. Basha. And Henry again preferred tonight to Toletti. Had a steady game at the base of the midfield at St James's Park. Karshawi gets away from the challenge. Not deemed a foul, looked like one at first glance. I think the crowd felt it was a foul.
The crowd definitely felt it was a foul, but I quite like that from the referee. It lets us know early doors she's going to let things flow. She's going to try and let the game get some momentum and not pull up for little fouls, which is what we want to see.
England in a promising position here. Toon picking it up and looking for Hemp. Trying to exploit that pace in behind. And Romagnon almost closed down. Bright. There was a chance there for England.
There was. Both teams showing intent from the outset that they're going to press high, they're going to press aggressively. They know that if they can get high up the pitch and get bodies up, they can force the opposition back.
Hervé Renard back on the touchline for France. Served a one-match suspension after being sent off against Sweden. Sat in the stands in Newcastle. Williamson. And Walsh straight away, the pressure on Kira Walsh at the base of that England midfield. Hemp trying to link up again, but France successful in winning it back, and Diani to Dali. Now Henry. France did a great job at winning the ball back from England in their own half. Weren't at their best in creating clear-cut chances from those opportunities. And now on their own patch. Here's Basha. Toto in the middle, waiting for the cross. Karshawi. Back to Basha. Salma Basha, one of the large Lyon contingent in this French side. Champions League runner-up. Lacroix. De Almeida scored a fantastic goal last time out. Looks for Diani, too much on the pass.
Just a little bit too much on that from De Almeida, but great running from Diani in behind. We know that she's fast, we know that she's dangerous with the ball at her feet, but she's an intelligent player and she knows how to time those runs and hold it to perfection. De Almeida there just put a little bit too much on it and ran out, thankfully, for England.
We know there are a lot of people who are upset with the fact that Alex Greenwood didn't start on Friday, but the reasoning really for Serena Wiegmann is because of the threat of Diani down that side, and Carter did a pretty good job last time out. Mead looking for Hemp again. They see that, clearly see that as an area where they can get in behind France. Dali losing out to Toon. And Stanway back to Toon. Chance for Ella Toon. Didn't catch hold of it. First big opportunity of the game.
First big opportunity and a fantastic one for Ella Toon. She found herself in a really good pocket of space, but just snatched at that shot, didn't connect with it. She'll be frustrated by that because she knows she's got the ability there to pick out a top corner, a bottom corner, and roll it in, challenge the goalkeeper a little bit more. But really positive start there for England.
England were bullish in the way that they analysed that match, felt that they were the better side. But France picking up here. Toto moving it wide. Karshawi plays it across, and it's just wide. Diani attacking it. England open up.
And that's how quickly France can transition you from an opportunity for England at the other end, straight down, popping it from central out wide, and just creeping wide of that post. Leah Williamson just did enough to put Diani off and force that wide of the post.
Though the worry here for England is in making that challenge. Leah Williamson has stayed down. Just a cut to graze on her knee. Hopefully not an issue with the knee itself, of course.
No, you never like to see blood, but a flesh injury, I'm sure, normally is a lot better than any kind of internal injuries. So I'm sure she'll take a little cut on her knee.
We saw Sakina Karshawi creating that chance for France. She's a player who we normally see at left back, can play left wing back, played left of a midfield three, and today left of the front three.
Do you know what? It's giving France good balance in these opening few moments as well. The two of them at left back, they can combine. She can play deeper, Basha can go higher. They've both got brilliant deliveries with their left foot, so it gives England a little bit of a different kind of thing to concentrate on. You see there that injury for Leah Williamson. Hopefully nothing too serious, and as I said before, just the impact injury of just catching her stud as she slides in to make the challenge.
We'll see a lot of shots tonight of former French players in the crowd. Just before kick-off, they honoured those who were the first French side, women's side, to reach a World Cup back in 2002 when they beat England in two legs, actually. One played at Selhurst Park and then the second leg in this very stadium. Served as a qualifier for the 2003 World Cup, which was set to be played in China and ended up being played in the United States. Wendy Renard was not part of that team, despite being around for so long, breaking a record tonight for matches captained for the French side.
I think we'd prefer to talk about the memories of the next World Cup where we beat them in the playoffs to qualify for the 2007 World Cup in China. We got payback.
Siobhan, you can tell us more about that, although Leah Williamson is back to her feet. Can't believe we said it's good news that there was blood on her knee rather than fearing the worst again. It kept her out, and of course Millie Bright out for so long as well. Such disruption in that England back line. And Hannah Hampton taking her time really to get play started again so that Williamson can get going again, and she is back on the pitch momentarily. She's gone off again. I think she had to wait for permission. Especially now France have the ball, stay off the pitch.
You come back on from that position, you're playing everyone on side. That's a smart decision to come around the side.
Smart defender. And now Leah Williamson ran round the pitch to get back in line with the defence and is now back in that back line. Here's De Almeida. Diani. And Dali, another experienced member of this France side.
Player that knows these players so well as well, playing in the WSL for Aston Villa. Such a talented player.
And not just Aston Villa, West Ham United and Everton as well. Well versed with the English game. Williamson going long. And Hemp will chase. Put enough pressure on De Almeida, who still found Diani though. Henri. Katoto, this is nice from France. Gayoro. Karshawi. Diani had her arm up for the pass. Karshawi will go across, and Dali's completely free on the right-hand side. Dali couldn't get the cross in, blocked by Carter. Karshawi getting on the ball again. Renard. Gayoro. Katoto. Actually already feels more involved in the first 10 minutes of this game than she was for the whole first half. This is really good news for England. Doesn't bode well because she didn't see much of the ball in that game and still score.
I think for me, having Gayoro back on the pitch helps her massively. She makes those late runs from midfield and gives her the opportunity to maybe come a little bit deeper, come to feet, play a slightly different role instead of being just that focal point with the midfielders playing behind her. So I think already Gayoro being back on this pitch for France has been a huge impact for them.
It's a great goal scorer from midfield. And Bronze will look for Toon again. Toon made several smart runs, but wasn't really found enough on Friday. Karshawi. Katoto holds it up well. And there's Williamson always covering. Katoto already showing some good hold-up play. Bit of a mess there on that far side. So it will be a throw-in. Ivana Tincic is the referee from Croatia. And Bronze, Sortun, cut out by Dali. Mead. Now Walsh, urging Williamson to step forward. To be that second player who can pass that ball forward, bypass that France midfield, which England found so hard to do. That's loose though from Bronze, picked up by Basha. Have looked dangerous on the counter-attack so far. Russo. Shadowed by Renard. Mead. Mead won't get that back. Henry with a foot in. It's telegraphed enough for France to read it. Here's Katoto. Shawi again to Dali. Confidence is still there in the French side. Why would it leave them after their win last time out? Lacroix. Hemp takes it off the toes of Diani, who will chase him back here. Can't take it off her. Walsh. And then Toon's touch is heavy and picked up by Dali. Stepping across Williamson, who's read the game well again. There's been a few little moments like that for England, the loose pass.
Yeah, both teams being a little bit sloppy at times. A couple of times where France could have transitioned so much quicker. Just a slightly heavy touch or a heavy pass. And moments with England doing exactly the same.
There's too much on that pass out as well. Well, it could be turn into a fantastic year for France if they were able to capture Olympic gold. The last of, you might say, the giants of women's football, yet to win any of the 3 major prizes.
We've seen how much a home crowd can help you with the Euros, and the win at Wembley definitely makes a massive impact.
They do have one of their 3 group games in this stadium against Canada, their toughest opponent. Canada, Olympic champions. Of course, Team GB will not be there. After marginally missing out in the Nations League at the back end of last year. A head ball face will try and chase that. France actually reached the final of that competition, losing to world champion Spain.
If anybody manages to beat Spain at the moment, they're doing a pretty remarkable job. They're just playing so well, and their youth team just won the latest tournament with so much talent coming through. It's pretty frightening to think the future for Spain at the moment as well.
Yeah, that being the under-17 Euros, and they are set for a long time to come. But England did make that final. Right now, the senior side. It's been an interesting start to this one in the first 15 minutes. Some similarities to Friday's match. Here's Bright. I don't think Bronze was looking when Bright first played that pass. All good in the end for England. Hemp right on the shoulder. Ode Almeida, it goes the other way to Bronze, and Bronze wins that ball in the air. Now Mead, Russo working hard to get in the middle. Well, Alessia Russo did get there first, but couldn't put it in the net.
And that's what we want to see from England. Quick on the transition, out wide, deliveries from wide areas, and you always know that Alessia Russo is going to be making that run into the box. Just couldn't get the direction on it. Got there first, got the connection, a brilliantly timed run. Just couldn't find the back of the net, but more promising play from England.
Lacroix forward, Katoto. Lays it off nicely to Dali. But Dali asking a lot of Diani there. Diani said, I'm not chasing that. Akar Shawi not that happy with her teammates because she initially pressed well but didn't have the backup. Carter does well to just keep that ball in play. Russo, Toon, but Hempford stops running. And De Almeida will have the run on her, will she? Just about. We know in the last European Championships, only 2 players recorded a quicker sprint time than Lauren Hemp. One of those is on the bench for France, Estelle Cascarino.
De Almeida did a fantastic job keeping up with her there. She's defended against her well in the opening part of the last game on Friday against them. Lauren Hemp had so much success down that left side. We need to get her on the ball more again.
Smart touch from Mead. Now Millie Bright. Williamson. Walsh. Out it goes. Lucy Bronze. With Russo in the middle with a pop pull back to Mead. Couldn't help it onto Toon. And England had so many nearly moments like that. Then Walsh trying to thread it through to Russo. Karshawi. Katoto. Karshawi caught from behind. For the second time, she says.
I mean, she's kind of got a point. You can see the foul there from behind and you can see why she's claiming for it. But the opportunity before came from Kira Walsh receiving the ball in that central area and picking out Lucy Bronze with that switch. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see Kira Walsh getting on the ball. She's found it difficult in these last couple of games because they're putting a player directly on her.
Karshawi, one of those who's played for both PSG and Lyon, the 2 giants of French football. Guichard. Waiting for the cross, doesn't come. He's been disappointed a few times in that sort of situation. Henry. Guichard. De Almeida. Tried to beat Lauren Hemp with skill there. Very confident defender. We saw that with her finish as well.
Yeah, very confident. She's not quite been on the same page as Diani yet today. You see a little bit of attempted trickery, but I don't think Lauren Hemp was falling for it too much. And just overplayed once again for Diani.
Russo, who did well actually against Lacroix. Toon. And Toon will look for Mead. Terrific pass. And Beth Mead has a chance here and takes it. It's saved and France able to clear. And that's not the first time England have got in behind.
It's a brilliant ball by Ella Toon. Beth Mead held her run to perfection. But it's a top save from Peroy Magnan, keeping it at 0-0. Forced it into a wide area so England couldn't get the rebound.
Saw the former Arsenal goalkeeper keep out the current Arsenal player on Friday. She's done it again tonight. Russo, will this reach Hemp? It does, just about. Stanway! Oh, it's a beauty! A brilliant way to give England the lead. Georgia Stanway, like an arrow.
Absolutely rocketed into that side of the net from Georgia Stanway. That's what she does best. Bangs them in from the edge of the box. We haven't seen one for a while, but that was one worth waiting for.
There were some saying she was quiet on Friday. I think that was pretty noisy. And here's Diani. France looking to strike straight back. Karshawi will just get there. Marshalled by Bronze. I always felt with these 2 sides there wasn't much between them. Here's Renard. Basha will make one of those familiar runs, but instead it goes inside, and Dali taking it up. De Almeida's pulled really wide right, and Lacroix looking for her. She did terrifically well to keep that in play. Not quite. Spoke too soon, it did go out of play. Decent response from France.
Well, we know she's got a talent for wrapping her foot around the ball. We saw it with that extravagant goal she scored in Newcastle on Friday. But that one couldn't quite be kept in on the goal line.
Hervé Renard. It's not... Well, it seems unlikely he'll still be the France manager after the Olympics. He's looking ahead to the Men's World Cup of 2026. He's a man who's had several jobs, of course, in his time. Several successful stints at different nations. Toon. On to Mead. England flooding forward. And it's just behind Stanway. They had a numerical advantage there, England. Instead, France, shocked by that strike from Stanway. Just give that ball back to England easily. Gayoro was unsure what to do. They didn't have the options forward. We mentioned how hard it was for England to lose that game. And the way they've approached this one so far, they're trying to make amends.
They have, and so far they are. They're being so much more front foot. They're committing more bodies to the attack. What I've noticed with Ella Toon, you see her picking up positions higher up the pitch, which means she's getting closer to Alessia Russo. Beth Mead's driving in field a little bit more, and Lauren Hemp's getting high up the pitch. It's a much more attacking performance than it was in the first half against Newcastle.
After stretching, Hemp almost gave it straight to, in fact, it worked out for England just about in the end. Bit annoying for De Almeida there.
Sometimes you need a little bit of luck on your side, and Lauren Hemp got it that time.
Especially between two sides who don't have much between them. The other game in this group, incidentally, saw Sweden host Ireland slightly earlier than this one. It finished. It's finished already, that game, and Sweden had ended up winning it by 1-0. Of course, the Swedes were expected to win that game, but interestingly enough, the fact that it was only 1-0 could play a big part going forward. I'll try to explain a bit later. Here's Gayoro. Darling. Challenge from Hemp. No foul. The referee has tried to let the game flow here. And here's Darling. And Diani. Katoto waiting. Diani. Only Gayoro and Diani couldn't find her. There's been a few times actually when they tried to get a cross in and Carter's blocked it. Important defender for England. And offside. Frustrating for France.
Well defended there by England. The ball just bounced on that touchline, didn't make its way out of play. You can see the replay of the goal there. Just the power that Georgia Stanway hits it with. As I said, she's known for those strikes from distance, and we haven't seen one for a while, but that was an absolute bullet.
When it comes to permutations for this group, the fact England are winning makes obvious things a lot easier for them in the final two games. If they were to emerge with a victory here, still a long way to go. Teams separated with their level on points by head-to-head record. At the moment, France, with this scoreline, would be on 9 points, Sweden on 7 points, England on 7 points, separated by the goal difference because they've only played each other once, and that was a 1-1 draw at Wembley. Only the top two qualify directly for the European Championships next year. Positions 3 and 4 will go into playoffs against sides from League B. We'll cross that bridge if England end up arriving at it. Hampton. It's good distribution as a goalkeeper. Didn't mess around that time, and almost a flick on from Russo. And then Henry. And both sides have been guilty of that sort of situation, but it's all the more frustrating for France at the moment because they're trailing.
They have been, and a lot of the time it's down this right-hand side for France. Diani's been in great position to get in behind Jess Carter 3 or 4 times, and it's just been overplayed. And you've got to give credit to England's defence for being in the perfect line to prevent an easy ball outside.
Let's see here. These sort of situations on Friday were tricky for England, but Hampton now switching things up again, looking for the run of Stanway. Beth Mead is saying, why didn't you pick me out? That is one way, if you're struggling to pass through a defence, is to, you could say, go direct. And the very best do it. Maybe Spain don't that often, but...
Look, if you go direct and you're successful, then it's the best way for you to win a game. It's not about going route one necessarily. It's about pinpoint passes to a player high up the pitch who's in an effective position to score a goal.
And that is a big reason, you might say, why Hannah Hampton is in the mix for England. This also helps being a WSL champion with Chelsea.
It does, and she can play those short passes, 1 and 2 touches. She can also play the long ones in behind off her right foot and off her left foot, and that gives England a different kind of dimension when they're trying to build from the back.
Russo shrugs off a couple of challenges. Excellent work from Alessia Russo to feed Mead. And Stanway is in support again. Here is Stanway. And looking much more dangerous in attack tonight. Bright. Will that break to Mead? It does. Here's Hemp. Plenty to pick out as well. 4 shirts waiting for the cross. Goes back to Carter. Williamson. And Bright has made one of those runs. It's a terrific ball across. Russo! Oh, that would have been a great England goal. Here's Hemp. And the ball just went out of play for a goal kick.
And it's a brilliant ball. And look, Lucy Bronze plays it first time. And Alessia Russo does everything right. She gets it on target, she gets it across, she plays it down. But Tao Mannion, her footwork to get herself across goal there and make that save. She stays big, is her trailing leg. Makes a fantastic save. I think some people sometimes say about the goalkeeper there, it's straight at them. But you look at the footwork she has to do to get across the goal, to get in line with that shot to make the save. It's fantastic. Although she does seem to have injured herself doing it.
Siobhan, you has played at Arsenal, of course, and same as the France goalkeeper. She was part of that side that won the title for Arsenal in 2019. A very important goalkeeper for France. They've had some big goalkeepers down the years. But right now, a bit of a problem here for their current #1.
Yeah, she's a very experienced goalkeeper for them. She's confident on the ball. She makes big saves, which we've seen in the last 2 games. That one there, keeping the score at just 1. England score again after 30 minutes. It gives France a few more questions to answer. She's played well so far.
With this new European Championship qualification format, I expect to see a few records coming to an end. England had that long record where they hadn't lost in a World Cup or European Championship qualifier since losing on this ground to France in 2002. But last Friday put an end to that. And France haven't lost a European qualifier since 2007 to Iceland. And right now they're losing this one, though. These two sides respect each other so much. Of course, the England have players in their squad who've played in France. They have Alex Greenwood and, of course, Lucy Bronze, who won Champions League titles with the French side. Now with Barcelona beating that same side in the Champions League final 10 days ago. Lacroix. Terimania seems okay at the moment. Millie Bright. No chance of her playing that pass short there. Carter. Toon. It's been very busy so far. Russo, strong, looking to turn Lacroix, does it brilliantly. Still Russo, looking for Mead. It is a corner. Strong start, though, for the other Arsenal forward.
Brilliant play by Russo there. Lacroix gets tight to her and she just rolls her, uses her strength. But Lacroix does really well to recover, get back and make the block. But really positive play there from Alessia Russo. We know she can come short and hold on to the ball, but she can also roll the player and drive at them when she needs to.
absolutely no interest in targeting Wendy Renard in that regard. She's pinned herself to Lacroix. In goes the England corner. It's cleared away by Katoto. Supporting the defence for France now. Guichard slightly isolated, but the support is arriving with Karshawi, but she was eased off the ball in the end. England marshalled that situation well. And now Mead and Russo working hard in the middle and attacking it. It's going to break here, is it, for England? And Hemp just ran out of room in the end, but they found that sort of situation a fair few times.
They have done, and it's a brilliant ball across there. Just finds its way to Lauren Hemp, and she just takes that extra double touch, which forces it off the pitch. But Basher does enough to just force her wide. But great opportunity there for England, and posing so much more of a threat on the counter.
See the work there of Stanway and Walsh to stop Guichard in her tracks in the end. There's Darley. De Almeida. Could hear Hervé Renard there, not very happy at all. Could hear him roar from here. That was Serena Wiegmann on Friday, but this time it's the France manager. Russo, Stanway, Bronze. Wide it goes again, sent it towards Russo! It's 2-0 England! What a first half in France. And Alessia Russo, who's been a real threat to that France defence, has taken the opportunity to give England this advantage that they have now.
I thought Lucy Bronze might hit it early, but she didn't. She played the pass, and Lauren Hemp just picks out Russo with perfection. The header into the floor makes it impossible to save. Bounces up and in over the keeper. And 2-0 to England.
19th England goal for Alessia Russo on her 40th cap. And Hervé Renard, who just seconds before that goal was screaming on the touchline at his team at what he perceived as sloppiness defensively. And they paid the price. Guichard. France in shock here. De Almeida. Trying to work it on. Carter. Lacroix that time got there before Russo. Might be the first time. She did so many elements of what we've seen tonight, Alessia Russo, in that game at Newcastle, but that's loose from France again. Lacroix has to win that challenge. And then Bronze can't find Hemp. Katoto does well to ease off Bright there, but in steps Carter. And now Hemp. It can easily be forgotten that England took the lead in that game on Friday, and it was that fantastic goal from De Almeida that got France back into the game, and it was Katoto who gave them the lead in the second half, a lead they held on to. Picture a little different at the moment, though. Good run from Stanway. Toon. Carter. Confidence about England so far. Toon. Williamson. And they have this platform, this 2-0 advantage. They have the ball. They're looking dangerous as Carter will make this run, and she'll get there first. And France being exploited at the moment Carter inside, Hemp, oh, so close to getting around Lacroix. Important intervention from the French defender. Williamson, again will look that ball to Bronze, Stanway. A touch keeps the move alive for England. Bronze, Basha was strong, Karshawi. But now it's France's turn to find it difficult to get out. With this reach, Rousseau, Renard, calm there from the captain. Katoto, but bright, tight that time. Siobhan, you can't help but be impressed by England so far.
They're playing such more positive football. They're on the front foot. They're dominating the midfield areas. They're getting on top in wide areas. They're scoring goals. It's a completely different performance.
Here's Hemp. That's a lovely ball across. The header was so important from Basha. It's cleared away. Basha had to make that intervention because Mead probably would have tucked that away. Free kick to France, though. Katoto. You see Bright, though. She wants to get tight to the French forward.
She definitely does. She doesn't want to give her the opportunity to turn. You can see that ball in there from Lauren Hemp. Beth Mead coming in at that back post space. Such a crucial intervention. Brilliantly defended header there at the back post. As I said before, England just dominating, especially this midfield area. Ella Toone and Georgia Stanway didn't get on the ball anywhere near as much as they have done today when we played them on Friday. They're playing so well in that midfield area, and that's what's giving England the platform to get forward and get bodies forward in the wide areas as well.
France, of course, have the quality to change the way things look at the moment. Gaoro. By the way, you will have noticed that strapping on her hand. She broke her finger actually last week, which is why she sat out or didn't come on Friday. Still not fully healed, of course, but she's such an important player for France that she's out there trying to help her side. We need help at the moment.
They do, and it'd be really interesting to see if at half-time Renard makes any changes to that midfield three. I think Toletti, who obviously started in the midfield in the last game, is an obvious one that could potentially come in and maybe make a bit more of an impact up against Ella Toone and Georgia Stanway.
De Almeida. England wanted the free kick there, but Renard was telling Dali to get it wide, but instead it's with Rousseau, and she gets there before Renard, and they're stretched again, the French, and Hemp. Just keep it in. And we'll take the corner. France fortunate there again.
It's good starting position there from Perrault Magnon. She was just high enough to force Alessia Russo to play it a little bit further away. And Lauren Hemp couldn't quite get there early enough to take the shot, but still managed to keep the ball and win England a corner.
Well, Lauren Hemp with this corner. As always, Lucy Bronze and Millie Bright targets, of course, Russo as well. Hemp with the corner towards Bronze, and it dropped to Williamson. And here's Bright. And she hoped that would go out for a corner, and she can't believe it's a goal kick. And I think France let's have a look at this again.
She definitely can't believe it's gone out for a goal kick. That's a certain corner, and you can see why she's frustrated there.
I always find that interesting, of course, because Bright maybe could have kept it in, but she just assumed it would be a corner. Not the case. 3 for France on that occasion, but look at England winning it back again with Hemp and Carter. Much improved performance so far for England. Toone can't quite get on the end of that. And a reminder, the last time that France lost at home in a competitive match was 2 World Cups ago, 2019 as hosts, when they lost in the quarter-final to the United States. And for Hervé Renard tonight, doesn't look too pleased with how things are going. May need one of his famous team talks. Here's him.
His assistant seemed to provide the magical one on Friday night, so maybe he might pass it on to his assistant to take the talk.
Russo again. Here's Hemp. Lays it back Toon. Stanway again. It was almost an identical goal to the opener for England, the way it was set up there. Thought she might rifle into the top corner once more.
Pretty much the exact same move. Georgia Stanway that time not connecting as perfect as before and just slicing it wide of the post.
France now. In fact, since England scored their first goal, it's pretty much been all England. France had one opportunity, you might say, straight after the goal, but struggled since then. And Hampton, who clearly must have called for it for Williamson there.
Look, she made the decision early. She knew she was going to come and clear it up. In hindsight, you might have said Leah Williamson was in control of the situation, could have dropped off. But once you've made that decision, you clear it and you discuss it afterwards like they have done.
Carter switched on again, giving Darling no room whatsoever. And her one-on-one defending for England has been exceptional. And that is why she was preferred over Alex Greenwood, of course.
It is, and as a player, you know there's question marks over you. You know the media are questioning whether you should be the one that's starting. But she's come out here both games and put in good performances, solid performances.
Toto, though, controls that well. Korshawi. France change the complexion of this match with a goal before half-time. Basha. Gayoro. Toto, there's Williamson giving her no time to turn. Dale Maida. And here's Serena Wiegman this time. Dale Maida. Across it goes. Henry got it all wrong. And that was a bit more threatening from France.
Probably the first real opportunity that is opened up in that kind of area for France to have an attempt. And as you said, Henry there got it all wrong. She's got the experience, she's got the ability to hit those. That time didn't.
Player who now plays in the United States for the Utah Royals, and she vastly experienced international, over 100 caps for France. She's scored many a long-range goal as well, but got that one wrong. Here's Henry, gives it away to Russo, who tries to hold her off, and Henry did well in the end. 4 minutes of additional time in this first half. Dali. Korshawi, with a scoreline as it is, we could have a very open game going forward. Only 4 more minutes of it in this first half. And France need a good cross here. Katoto will go up, Williamson's header. And England able to clear that time. Walsh forward to Russo. What an outlet she's been in this first half. Hemp. And you know with England right now, they're just thinking of negotiating their way to half-time without conceding, without taking too many risks.
France obviously scored quite late in the reverse fixture. They'll know the importance of keeping that clean sheet going in at half-time.
Because of England's recent troubles in front of goal in important games when they've needed to get the goal, the defence then gets highlighted. But tonight, both ends for England played pretty well so far. The defence and the attack. The team deserves this 2-0 lead. But France to change that with a big challenge going in there from Stanway, who had a little look up towards the referee. She was caught there just as she made that challenge.
I'm not sure if it was the first challenge that it was given for by Ella Toon, the pullback. And Georgia Stanway just decided to add to it a little bit there.
Well, Jess Carter, the only England player who would miss the Ireland game if she was booked tonight. France have 3 players in their lineup who had missed the fixture with Sweden. So, France take that free kick, and Renard is arriving, and it's still there, but wide. Katoto. But that's a reminder of their danger. Renard at set pieces.
It's their best opportunity of the game so far. Renard gets the better of Stanway, gets it back across goal. But she can't do enough to hit the target. The pressure was enough from England defensively to force it wide.
I mean, there aren't many in the world who can beat Wendy Renard in the air, but wasn't giving Georgia Stanway much chance on that occasion. In fact, that last competitive defeat at home for France against the USA, Renard did score in that game with a header.
Look, she's such a talented player, both defensively. Both managers there planning the half-time team talks, but Renard defensively and in attack. She can score goals, she can prevent goals. That's why she's so capped for this France side.
Oh, and helping it on there, Russo beautifully. Toon! And that's claimed by the goalkeeper in the end. And I'll tell you what, in this first half, every one of that front line for England and the two behind in the midfield in Toon and Stanway have had opportunities.
They have done. It's been such a positive first half. I think Serena Wiegman will be going in with a huge smile on her face. She'll know the job is not done yet, not by a long shot. But it's been a brilliant half of football by England.
Yeah, they know in recent matches away from home, it's been awkward. But Stanway down on her haunches right at the end of the half. Only seconds away, really, of getting in. She'll get a knock on the head, perhaps, but... There's Russo again, that link-up play. She's done so well in the first half. Half-time, and what a first half for England. Fantastic goal from Georgia Stanway gave them the lead. Alessia Russo doubled it. And the scoreline at half-time in Stade Etienne, France 0, England 2. Russo, will this reach Hemp? It does, just about. Stanway! Oh, it's a beauty! A brilliant way to give England the lead. Wide it goes again, send it towards Russo! It's 2-0 England. What a first half in France.
This is exactly what we wanted to see. Great response for England here. First half, 2 goals up already, and just looking like they are relaxing into the game and getting more and more confident. It didn't quite start like that. It was a bit nervy at the beginning.
Which you'd expect, especially coming off the way we played last week. And I think France maybe thought that they could come on and do the same thing. But what's happening is that people are looking a little bit more comfortable. They're passing the ball into people who are making decent space. They're moving the ball. And they, on the break, especially with everybody being right-footed in our back four, you know, that ball over the other side to Basha for Lucy Bronze has been unbelievable. We've really taken that left side to pieces.
We're going to show you some of this. So England just being super positive, which eventually led to the first goal, Kaz.
Yeah, I think this is one of our best performances I've seen for a long time, actually. Everything's forward, as Righty just said, moving the ball forward, bodies moving forward all the time, just positive, pressing really well as well. So here is exactly what we're talking about. Now, it was a bright start. The first kick, you've come into Ella Toon, you're thinking, just didn't connect with it. No. But what I like is bodies into the box. That one there, Lucy Bronze, the pass that you on about, right, into that channel. And then Russo going onto it, the cross coming in nice and early. Great ball over for Ella Toon has been superb, along with Alessia Russo. It falls to Mido, takes a shot early. She could have gone on a little bit, but all of this is in the opening part of the game. Brilliant from Russo again, holding it up. 3 French players around her, no one's tight to her. At your peril, Hemp does really well, reads it. It's probably in a long, long time. I don't think we've seen her any better, but again, Hemp does really well. Brilliant. The shot there, though, power, precision. The goalkeeper, I have to say, poor. But from an England perspective, I don't really care.
You want to capitalise on what Karen's saying. Alessia Russo just been a real bright spot.
Real bright spot in respect of the hold-up play, proper number 9 performance she's putting in with everything she's doing. She's got defenders all over her. Link-up play has been fantastic. This is really unlucky. Great run, great ball and great run. Great ball from Leah, but great run from Lucy Bronze. She's just unlucky. She's just running out of space. She can't quite get that back there. But it's this. This is turn. Fantastic. You know, brilliant play, strength, everything what she's doing. She's doing a lot of work where there's not too many people around her. Look at this one. Great play the way she's held her off there. And this, you know, again, this is just a great ball from Lauren M. Brilliant. And then she gets the rewards for the great play, the great link-up play. And I think France might be a bit shocked because I feel that they might have thought that we was going to play as poorly as we did the other day. I said we needed to see something. And what we've seen is the players themselves have upped their game. France is still putting pressure on them, but they've upped their game. They're passing it quicker. It's much better.
A special shout-out as well to Lauren Hemp. 3 assists now in 2 games. 2 assists just in the game today as well. So she's coming on really well. And there's so much positive play coming down that side.
I think every player has done remarkably well. They haven't had a shot on target. The goalkeeper for us has had nothing to do with Hannah Hampton, and as long as that continues, I'll be happy.
You both wanted a clean sheet, so fingers crossed. They've got another 45 minutes to play. We'll see what they can do. But this is looking really strong, really positive from England. Stay with us at the moment. It's the Lionesses with the va-va-voom. Sorry to any of our French viewers at the moment. Georgia Stanway getting on the score sheet as well. Alessia Russo, more to come in the second half. England proving why they're European champions. They will not stay lying down. Second half next. Welcome back. This year's Soccer Aid for UNICEF match is on ITV1 on the 9th of June, and donating to the appeal is very simple. To give 30, 20 or £10, just text 30, 20 or 10 to 70818. Text costs your donation plus 1 standard rate message. You must be 16 or over if you want to donate, and please just ask the bill payer's permission. You can also donate online at the website that you can see there shown on your screen. 100% of your donation will go to UNICEF, and every donation, get this, will be doubled up to £4 million. And that is thanks to the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. An excellent cause. One of my guests here is playing in it. Aren't you, Karen? Huh? We will see. This is the scene at the moment in St Etienne. So at the moment, the Lionesses are 2-0 up. Remember as well, France haven't lost in France in 21 matches. So far, this is an excellent feat. Can they keep hold of it? Ian, do you want to see anything different in the second half?
No, I don't actually. I think France have been very poor. We've made them look very poor as well. And I feel that they will know now that if they do mess up, that we're in ruthless mood. So hopefully we can take another chance, and that will really see them off.
Foot to the floor, keep going. Same as the first half, like Righty said, it was flawless, to be honest, so more of the same.
The great thing about the results so far, and I'm kind of touching wood as I say this a little bit, because England are level on points with Sweden, but they do go ahead of them on goal difference. Remember that they actually have to play Sweden in the last match in the group. They've got 2 left. So it could all come down to that match. If they beat Sweden, and they will go through. This puts them in a great position. Let's see what happens in the second half and get you back over to your commentary team, Seb Hutchison and Siobhan Chamberlain.
So France get us underway in the second half. They made 2 changes. Delphine Cascarino has come on for Karshawi and Toletti on for Henri. 2 changes that Siobhan Chamberlain called during the half-time break.
I did indeed, and there are 2 changes that I think will give them a much more imposing impact to this second half. Toletti was good in the midfield. She held well. She broke down the problems that Stanway and Toon caused in the reverse fixture, and Cascarino is much more direct than Karshawi down that left-hand side. She's got pace, she'll drive in behind and she'll cause problems.
Sondi Toletti will just sit at the base of that midfield as Henri was doing in the first half, because we said all the experience that she has, Henri, but she is 34 years of age now. For France, can they make a fast start to this second half? Because England dominated that first half. In fact, after they scored their opening goal, England, you could say, It was one-way traffic. Don't expect that to continue, you would think, although England played so well. Pressure on the cover. Back there again. France know they'll have to take chances at some point, but if they can get an early goal in this second half, of course, they don't have to be so gung-ho. Again, we're looking very far ahead, but if this scoreline was to stay the same, England would actually, if they were to finish level on points with France at any point, they would have a better head-to-head record. But I am looking a bit far ahead. A long way to go in this game. Basha. Diani, who didn't have much joy in that first half, but Basha persistent. Gayoro, Toto, Dali. Basha saw the gap, to burst into it, and the cross is very good. Toto goes up. That's the ability of Selma Basha, though, from those wide areas.
It's a brilliant delivery there from Basha, and I think not having Karshawi ahead of her gives her a bit more freedom to be that left-footed player, to get round the outside and to deliver the ball in like she did there, and that's going to cause problems for England. Because playing with Diani in front of her, you know she's going to go in field, you know she's going to play that more forward role.
And Mead. But you see here, Hervé Renard there wanted his side to keep that pressure on England, make it difficult for them to pass out. That's where they had so much joy in Newcastle. The manager had seen so much over the years, including that very short stint at Cambridge United. It's 20 years ago now. Here's Russo. Bronze forward. Toon can't collect. De Almeida. Cascarino. Lacroix. This is where England have been good as well. Not making it easy for France to work that ball towards their dangerous front line. Which looks even more dangerous now with Cascarino on that right-hand side. Diani switching to the left. Toto, who's probably been better actually in this match than she was for much of the reverse match. Macron stepping out Williamson, who reached the game so well. Couldn't win it cleanly though in the end. Toto on the shoulder of Bright, and Bright gets there first. It's easy to forget how good a partnership was for England in that European Championship of Williamson and Millie Bright, complemented each other so well. Dali will look for Diani, and Hampton in the right place.
Great goalkeeping there by Hannah Hampton. Front foot, made her decision early, knew she was coming to collect it. Clean collection. And now taking her time to distribute, knowing that England just want to regain control of this match.
To remind you again what a difficult place this is for England to come, really. Only ever won once in France, and that was back in the 1970s. Bronze, taking a chance. And Hampton able to pick it up and just wants to calm things down while Lucy Bronze gets back to her feet. And even in this game, I have to say, Siobhan, even when there's been the odd error, England have made up for it quickly and remained calm.
They have done, and France are pressing really high. There's lots of numbers in attack. But Hannah Hampton's got the composure to play the ball in behind with effectiveness. I say as I take a deep breath as she plays that one.
The best ball in the end. Once again, Hervé Renard triggering the press from the touchline. And the home support is becoming more vocal here. They try and help their side turn this situation around, which they're perfectly capable of doing. Here's Basha. There's bronze, though. And Diani fouled her. Referee played the advantage, but England don't need an advantage at the moment because they have one on the score sheet.
That's clever play there by Lucy Bronze. She knew that the pressure was coming in from behind. She knew that she would have to make that foul. Just go to ground.
You know, Lucy Bronze, all those titles in France, in Spain, everything in England, a European champion as well. Seen it all in the game with that World Cup final. Here is Lucy Bronze. Russo wants it clipped forward. Lacroix read it, and Russo felt she handled it there. Pasha. Diani. There's that England defence again. And now Stanway. She loses out to Diani once more.
Great combination play there, but France are being forced to defend so much deeper than they want to that when they do regain possession, they haven't got enough bodies higher up the pitch to be able to cause problems for England.
Ball sent forward across steps Carter. Just France so used to winning matches in European and World Cup qualifiers. Ascarino. They want to turn, because she work it out to Diani, not quite. And I tell you, Basha thought about the shot. She does go for one. And it does go wide. Hampton actually read it well in the end.
Basha's got the ability to hit these. She's got a fantastic left foot. Hampton just knew at the last moment she wasn't going to have to dive for it. She knew her positioning. She knew it was covered. She knew it was headed wide.
I'll believe you on that one. Here's Toon. Stanway wants the ball played inside, but Toon to Hemp. Toon again. And Hemp collects nicely. Couldn't get the pass across, felt she was being pulled back. Doesn't get the decision in the end. Carter's there for England. And now Walsh. Bright. And England don't mind being in this sort of situation either. And Williamson, she saw the run of Carter. Couldn't quite find her, but here's Hemp picking it up. You can see how much that French defence respects Lauren Hemp's pace. Bright. Mead loses it. Basha stepping out, who seems on a mission at the moment, the French fullback. Gaoro, Katoto. Katoto again. And she just slipped at the wrong moment, but England still haven't cleared it. And Dali can't control it. He just thought Katoto was winding up an effort there, but it didn't come. Here's Russo. And France, well, there was space there for England to get in behind them. And it's still on. Hemp waiting for the ball over the top. And she'll collect this, and De Almeida on the back foot. Hemp across, can't find Stanway. Gaoro. De Almeida. He looked a little tired in getting back there. Just worried about that pace again. Speaking of pace, France looking to break forward. Once more, England getting the bodies back again. De Almeida. England have recovered defensively so well tonight as well.
England have done so well to press France back when they're forced to play backwards to maintain possession. England are just creeping up the pitch and making it more difficult for them.
Basha looking for Katoto. She's recognised. Have to get that ball quickly into Katoto. Didn't do it enough in the first half. Basha. But there's Mead, and then Basha biting back, tenacious fullback. I'll tell you, the way she walked off at the end of the first half, she was desperate to get back out here.
She was, and she was desperate to win that ball back, but you can see why the referees given a foul for that one.
Jean-Michel Aulas, the long-serving Lyon president, who was cut up on the screen in the stadium, hence the boos. St Etienne and Lyon not that far away in terms of distance, but far away in terms of liking each other. And Aulas, who's a big part of why the Lyon women's side was so dominant as well, backed his women's team to so many titles as well. He's no longer president now, but is involved with the French Football Federation.
For so long, Lyon have dominated the European football scene. Barcelona taken that crown for now, but still making it to finals, still winning French leagues and titles.
Darley pumps it forward to Renard, and she wins the header, of course, but look who was next to her, Millie Bright. That's a bit more sensible for England, because if there's one player who can challenge Renard, it is Millie Bright.
Yeah, I think Millie Bright up against Renard is more of a fair challenge than Renard against Georgia Stanway.
Hervé Renard described her as the boss. Andy Renard. Here's Hemp. She gives it away to Gayoro. Soletti won't collect that. Williamson stepping out nicely. Here's Toon. And Williamson won't give up on it. It was excellent in the end from Williamson, because even though it looked like she was going to lose the ball, she maintained that press just to make sure.
She did, but both teams been sloppy in possession there. When they get into moments where they can cause problems for the opposition, it's just one sloppy pass that's given it straight back.
Yes, they don't want the Standards to slip, of course, after that fantastic first half. Serena Wiegmann backing the same outfield players to start this one as the last match. Here's Bright. Back to Hampton. Hampton again. And she'll look to bronze. Should win this in the air. And then Basher didn't compete for it in the end, but it did enough to put bronze off.
That was a fantastic delivery there by Hannah Hampton under pressure. Bronze and Mead both stuck with who was going to take control.
Picked up by Stanway. Excellent work, corner. She's been a standout for England tonight, Georgia Stanway.
She definitely has been with that goal in the first half, but for me, Hannah Hampton's been key as well. When she's been put under pressure, I think England have gone a bit more direct today. They haven't passed around loads in that 18-yard box. They've known that if they're under pressure, they've got a goalkeeper there that can deliver balls accurately to the other end of the pitch, release that pressure and cause problems moving forwards.
Talk about France's danger from set pieces, but England are pretty good from set pieces as well, and they worked that one to the edge of the area. And we saw Georgia Stanway score a fantastic goal in the first half, but she can laugh at that effort.
She can do, and I think I'll give her a little bit of credit there. I think it does pop up just before she strikes it. It's an extremely well-worked corner from England.
It's quite impressive to get that height, actually, from there. Here's Renard. Closed down by Russo, who then tried to take on Wendy Renard. You don't get a second go. Diani, centurion now for France. The night where she's winning her 100th cap for her country, but it's not a night to remember so far. Lacroix. It's one of those on a yellow card. One yellow card away from suspension. Likewise, Basher. And Henry, although Henry has gone off. Lacroix. Toletti. That's a decent pass. And France can now go for De Almeida. It's asking a lot for her to get there, and Carter will track her all the way. Not what France were looking for. And we saw France actually have these sort of situations in Newcastle. But tonight they're being even more highlighted because of the scoreline. But this is not what England wanted to see at this moment in time. A reminder, Mary Earps going off injured in the first half, and Hannah Hampton having to come on. Well, now in this game, Hannah Hampton not happy, and I bet Serena Wiegmann cannot believe this situation.
Hopefully it's nothing serious. Just needing a little bit of treatment. She's been excellent for England today. We've already been singing her praises of her distribution and the way she's been supporting and starting the attack for England in today's game. With two very young goalkeepers on the bench that haven't been capped by England. I'm sure, as you said, Serena Wiegmann will be hoping that Hannah Hampton is okay to continue.
We'll take this moment to remind you of upcoming events on ITV this Saturday. 2:25, Northampton against Bath in the Gallagher Premiership final. And then, the start of next weekend, the following weekend, Euro 2024 begins as Germany hosts Scotland in Munich, Friday the 14th of June, 6:30 p.m. on ITV1 and STV. Hannah Hampton back to her feet again, and that's very good news for England. Of course, she's another who's played well tonight. That distribution that Siobhan has spoken about. There would have been some butterflies in the stomach of Chiara Keating, a teenage goalkeeper who would be next in line. And incidentally, she missed the last camp with a discomfort in her knee, so Hampton at the moment moving okay. Next time she strikes that ball, of course. Here's Lacroix. Lacroix looking for the run of Cascarino. Jess Carter tonight in the right place. Having played just over an hour, it's actually tough to try and pick who's been the best player for England. There's been so many standout performances. Walsh. Gaoro. But she loses it. Can England get in here through Hemp? Teletti actually covered really well.
That was excellent covering by Teletti. She read the danger, she knew where it was coming from, and just calmly slid across and covered her defenders that had been beaten. It's what you want from your holding midfielder.
Yeah, the Real Madrid midfielder came on at half-time. Way back in 2012, she was voted the best player, although England looking to take advantage again. You know, you sleep sometimes and England snap into action. Ella Toon is catching. France at the moment playing themselves into trouble, not for the first time tonight. Almost feels like roles reversed from Friday, although France didn't play as well as England have played tonight on Friday. Here's Basha. Mighty mouth for Lacroix there.
Excellent defending there by England, stepping up when that throw-in went in to force that offside and win possession back. They've done that really well tonight. When the ball's gone back, they've stepped out, they've compressed the pitch, made it more difficult for France to play balls in behind.
Hervé Renard talking to his assistant there, Laurent Bonnadet. What can we do now? We've made the changes, we've been a little bit better, but England still in charge. That'll be a foul from Stanway.
Be interesting to see if Béchot makes an appearance. She's a young player, dangerous in attack, very direct going forwards. Give this French team a slightly different dynamic in the attack.
And she was suspended last time out, but is on the bench. Sandy Baltimore as well, an option for France, who really troubled England in their last meeting in France, which was the last game England played before Serena Wiegmann took over, a 3-1 defeat. She'll be delighted with how this game's gone so far. She knows there's still a long way to go and how quickly things can change. But up to now, so far so good. Bronze, getting there first. Russo will put pressure on Renard. Teletti, and has been penalised. Didn't get a chance to finish my point before. Voted the player of the tournament in the under-17 Euros in 2012. Talented midfield passer. But that time, penalised.
Ball just bounced up onto her arm. Under pressure from 3 England players. It's what they've done so well throughout this match so far. Pressing relentlessly in groups, in packs, not giving France time to settle on the ball.
If we take out the substitution of Mary Earps on Friday, which was obviously a forced one, Serena Wiegmann only making 2 changes. But right now, unless their player's tiring, she doesn't need to make any at the moment the way England are playing, but there will come a point. She does have strong options. Almeida forward to Cascarino. Look at Carter trucking Cascarino all the way. Basha will look for Diani. And Diani gets there before Bronze. Cascarino and Katoto in the middle. Diani, bright in the way. Dali lays it off. Gaoro and Bronze put a foot out, and fortunately for England, it goes behind for a corner.
Lucy Bronze gets a little bit lucky there. She was in control, I'm sure, of where that was going. Hannah Hampton made the dive. She was sure it was going wide. That could have gone anywhere, thankfully, out for a corner.
Well, Basha to take this corner for France. Where's Wendy Renard? There she is. In goes the corner. Renard trying to steal in at the back post. England hack it away. Romagna collects. Teletti. And the crowd not happy that Teletti went backwards there. Allows England to get their shape again. Renard still forward as she wins the header, but there's no one there to take advantage. More French frustration, and Hampton seems to be moving okay.
Yeah, thankfully she seems to be absolutely fine. It's frustrating Diani there, making her chase after her to pick the ball up.
Yeah, and it's a situation here for France that they will be particularly irritated by, but not if they can score here. Gaoro, referee's going to give a penalty. And could this be the game changer? Well, England in a strong position, but we know how things can change quickly in football. Leah Williamson catching Gaoro.
It was sloppy in the middle of the pitch to start with to give the ball away. And then as the ball comes in, Gaoro gets the touch, she gets the turn, and Williamson makes the foul.
And France were about to make a substitution. If Perisset is down there, but you wonder, Kenza Dali holding the ball, but you wonder if she's going to be the one to take it. She was one of those to fail from the spot for France at the last World Cup. Not once, but twice, because her penalty had to be retaken, and she saw that one saved as well. There's a yellow card for Ella Toon. And now Lucy Bronze standing near the spot. And then, yeah, another yellow card. 2 quick-fire yellow cards here for England. And in a game where they were looking pretty comfortable, it could all change here. Adi Diani. There's the ball in hand. Diani against Hampton. Diani on her 100th appearance for France to get them back in this game. Diani, measured run up, and a penalty to match. France in business now, and this is game on.
It's a composed finish from Diani. She takes her time, she waits for Hampton to dive, and she slots it perfectly in the opposite corner. It's a brilliantly taken penalty, and France are back in this game.
Well, Lacroix goes off. Perisset's going to go on, which should see De Almeida move to a more comfortable position of centre half to partner Renard. And the WSL champion, Eve Perisset of Chelsea, comes on her right back in a situation that feels rather different. And look at France lined up, ready to put pressure on England again. Bright forward and straight out of play. And this is the thing about football. You think a side's in charge. England played so well tonight, but all of a sudden, there'll be doubts in their minds. Williamson stepping out. Russo, though. And Russo. Bronze. A switch in the way. France now aggressively putting pressure on England. Gaoro. Katoto up with her. Diani blocked by Bronze, big block, and now space for Toon. And if she looks to her right, Mead is free. Hemp, England go backwards.
This is where England need their experienced players, their leaders, to take control of the game, to start dictating the tempo, to slow it down if they need be. Get some dead ball time, just like that. That's exactly what England needed. Kill the game, waste some time, get rid of the momentum that France have just built, and take control of the situation again.
In their last 59 European and World Cup qualifiers, France have won 58 of them and drawn once. They're tough to beat. So England know there's so much more work to do. It's the same scoreline at the moment. 2-1 to Friday night, with that time in France's favour. Walsh is fouled, and England are going to make a change straight away in response. Chloe Kelly replaces Beth Mead. And England need that Kelly energy down that right-hand side now. And the switch is on with Lauren Hemp. So let's make that the left-hand side for now.
Chloe Kelly going up against Perisset, who's just come on. Perisset will be fresh, wanting to run forward, wanting to attack. If she's now up against Chloe Kelly, who's also fresh, might help force her back.
Taking the moment there. Just try and take the sting out of the game by taking their time on this free kick. And Bright will look for Hemp. And Basher, who hasn't taken a backward step in this second half. He's been a standout for France down that side. And Diani feel a lot better about the game at the moment, having scored that goal, but they know the job's not done yet.
They've been much more positive in this second half. Definitely think Toletti and Cascarino have added a difference for them.
It's a bit messy though for Basher. That occasion, and she's signalling that she has to come off. You're not seeing it on your pictures now, but she's just made a signal to the bench, Basher. And I mentioned in the first half that she was down getting treatment in the warm-up before the game. And maybe that issue has come back because she has put so much into this second half in particular.
Not sure if this injury came from a swing and not connecting, which surprises me in terms of the injury in the warm-up. We can never be sure because we're watching from a distance. Looked more of an impact injury. She's definitely holding the top of that hamstring. And sometimes as a player, when you know, you know.
She did signal straight away. The treatment is there because the problem France have is that her natural replacement would be Guichard, who was substituted at half-time.
Alternatively, Perisset, who's just come on at right back.
Absolutely. In terms of defenders on the bench, France, they've got the experience of Estelle Cascarino. Could actually see De Almeida move back to full-back again. Bronze. Now then, Stanway didn't quite catch hold of that one. That would have been a good time to get England's advantage back again, 2-goal advantage.
It would have been, and she picks up those pockets on the edge of the 18-yard box so well, just finds areas where she can pick the ball up off those wide players, take a touch and hit it.
Katoto, nice layoff. Geoffrey's had more of an influence in this second half. Now Diani. And Diani drifts inside, across it goes to Cascarino. Getting back there was Kelly and Carter. Calm as you like. Now Russo. And out to Hemp. He's got some space to try and burst past Basher here, who after signalling she needed to come off. Still out there.
If you've got a slight problem with your hamstring, you don't want to be running up against Lauren Hemp.
Absolutely. Williamson conceded that penalty for England. So made things a little more nervy. Of course, this is a scoreline, if it was to remain the same, would make this group very tight indeed. But again, guys can discuss that in the studio afterwards, depending on the result, which isn't, of course, confirmed at the moment. Here's Renard. Basher won't get to that, and she had a tuck, and I think Salma Basher's going to be booked here, which means she will miss the match against Sweden. So, struggling at the moment.
She was just too slow to react to the ball that came through, which is why Lucy Bronze got there ahead of her. She felt she had no other option but to pull her back, getting that yellow card, and I wonder if that injury contributed to that. She's flat-footed, just couldn't react, didn't have the pace, the strength in the hamstring perhaps.
You see Reynard there thinking, is Karshawi back at left back then? And the next one. Toletti, Dali, pressure from Walsh, free kick. And Walsh had to be careful there. Referee thought about bringing out the yellow card. Walsh just moved in time. Now Renard, that is a terrific ball. And Cascarino's quick. And it was an ambitious effort.
She's very quick, and it's a fantastic switch ball. But Jess Carter does just enough to force her wide. Doesn't give her the opportunity to take that early shot. Keeps her wide, and then Hannah Hampton has that covered all the way.
Well, Eugene Lesommer injured for France tonight. She's being booed as well. The Lyon Lynx. There's a yellow card as well for Hannah Hampton for time wasting. That's England's first booking of the game. They really don't like Lyon, do they? Right, putting that ball out of play. We look at the clock, 10 more minutes of the 90 minutes. It's the added time. Foul on Diani, growing influence in this game. Gaoro's been on the ball more. Dali's looked dangerous. France right now will feel confident that they will get a chance. Geoffrey. De Almeida. Geoffrey's picked up those pockets of space. Katoto moves it wide. Mascherino again trying to find room. And again it comes to nothing. And again you have to say, Jess Carter.
She's defended so well down that left-hand side. Again, forcing Mascherino wide, forcing her to make the error, forcing her to play the ball over the crossbar and out of any kind of danger. She's been brilliant down that left-hand side so far today.
Unbelievably, England tonight have had 6 shots on target. France only 1. Kelly hasn't been able to really get in the game yet. Basha. Sliding in, Lauren Hemp. France host Sweden next, then travel to face Ireland in their final match. This has been better from France in the second half. And they smell a point here. At the very least, Mascherino. Did that go out of play? It looked like it did. And England could breathe.
Mascherino's looked really lively since she's come on. That pace has caused a threat down the right-hand side. Jess Carter's dealt with it so well, but that time, Mascherino got away. The ball just slightly overhit, not giving her the opportunity to deliver.
England host Ireland at Carrow Road in Norwich. Next time out. Game that will be on ITV, as well as the trip to Sweden for the final group match. And where will England be at that point in time? If they can see this result through, the big game in the group will feel like that match between France and Sweden.
The important thing is to keep it within your own control. That's what you want as a team. You want to know that you're in control of your destiny, you're in control of your results, and you can cause problems for other teams and you can get yourself into the Euros.
Diani pushed back by Bronze, but Diani found the pass to Toletti. And Toletti, that's a good ball to Dali. This is really good from France. They've worked their way up the pitch. How can they create a chance? Dali inside, Katoto. And if they score from this, it's quite the move, but the block from Kelly was so key. It fell to Mascherino. Some of France's best football of the match, though. They were pinned in. Walsh forward, Russo. And she'll fancy her chances now against De Almeida. To power past her. Slightly isolated in that corner, but England won't mind where it is in the pitch, and they'll take that.
Brilliant play by Alessia Russo, shown great strength. She knew that De Almeida was tight to her, she knew she could roll her, and she used her strength to just continue to eat up those yards, get higher up the pitch.
There are some jaded players out there, I have to say, because it's been such a competitive tussle between these two. But England still lead and looking to add to it. Will it reach Stanway? Not quite. Point again from Toon. Katoto collects the loose touch from Carter. Mascherino moves it on. And Geoffrey trying to burst past Williamson. Found a second win here, France.
They have, but England is such a threat going forward still that they're having to commit so many bodies to the attack that when they do regain it, they haven't got the bodies high up to have that quick transition to attack.
Can they work space here? Ali on the turn. And again, the key foot comes in. They're taking a chance on the edge of the box there, England. Calm from Carter. And Russo will chase after this. And keep it in play. Alessia Russo. Brilliant focal point for England tonight.
She's been outstanding for England tonight. It's definitely, for me, one of her best performances. Her overall game, she's got the goal, she's her hold-up play, the way she's running behind. Yeah, she's been brilliant.
And that goal, as it stands, would be the winner. And the boos from the crowd as England take their time. I don't think the referee's going to stand for this one. And looking for Chloe Kelly. We know Chloe Kelly is England's chief time waster when required. So maybe a bit early, though, to run to the corner. Kelly and Carter. It's loose there. So Siobhan, when you're in this sort of situation, England leading and unsure how many players are going to commit to the attack. They don't want to be caught on the break. Kelly can't get round, but won that ball back easily. Toon, sloppy layoff though from Toon. But France equally not able to retain the ball. You'd forgive so many of these players being pretty tired out there after a long season, but here's Russo. And De Almeida, what a challenge that was. It had to be, but there's Stanway. You can see France are finding it difficult to get out, so it could be fatigue.
You say about it being too early to keep it in the corner. England kept it in the corner for 10 minutes at the end of that European final. They can do it now again.
But they're caught shorting. Here England all of a sudden, Cascarino. Blue shirts flying forward. And it breaks to bronze. And England escape. And then look at Stanway. Well, that's interesting. I think she maybe meant to put that out of play because Frank Kirby's waiting to come on. I'm not sure Serena Wiegman was too happy with that from Stanway.
No, England still sat so deep as well. Maybe it was an opportunity to get higher up the pitch.
Both sets of players have given so much tonight for their country. But France looking for an equaliser here. Katoto, what a save! Hampton to keep England in the lead. Katoto thought she'd scored.
I think the entire crowd here thought she'd scored. It's an unbelievable save from Hannah Hampton. Down low in that bottom corner, changes her footwork, changes her direction, and tips it round the post. It's a brilliant save.
France pushing for a late equaliser here. We are in the 90th minute, and France have a set piece. Basha to take it. Wendy Renard in there. It goes towards Renard. She wins the header. But there's England players there lining up. And then away from Russo. And Frank Kirby still waiting to come on. She'll come on now for Toon. I think Serena Wiegman wanted to get that sub made earlier. The ball hadn't gone out of play, and when it did, it was a corner. But Ella Toon, good tonight on her 50th cap.
I don't think she's going to be in any kind of rush to make her way off the pitch, take as long as she can without potentially getting a booking. But Frank Kirby's a great player to come on and replace her with. The experiences she's got, the way she can maintain possession.
And the fourth official holds up 5 minutes as Frank Kirby comes on for cap number 72. And France, I think they want to make a double change as well, as Béchot is down there. And Baltimore as well. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at this one. Although there was a late challenge there, and France, well, they're caught in two minds. They're carrying on even though they have a player down. It's Basha again, and she is in real pain here. And despite the match situation, her team's going to have to put this ball out.
I'm just surprised that Peyro Mannion didn't kick the ball out earlier.
Clash of knees. Chloe Kelly was okay when she came away from that, but Basha wasn't, and she's been through a lot tonight. has to say. Went down in the warm-up, went down in the second half, signalled she needed to come off. And now she's down again, so we are going to play longer than the 5 minutes here, that's for sure. The double change being made. Dali's gone off. And Vicky Béchot, suspended for the last meeting. A real threat in the forward line, the young Lyon player, who's another of those who failed from the spot for France in the World Cup against Australia. And Sondi Baltimore, who scored against England the last time these nations met each other in France. She was a bit of a thorn in England's side that night. Today, Fran Kirby coming on as had scored in the previous 2 meetings against France before Friday, and Basha being helped off and applauded off.
They've tried to rush any kind of treatment there to get her off the pitch, because France want a goal that badly.
And Baltimore is at left back at the moment. Probably stay there till the end. Sliding in is Kirby. De Almeida was caught. Expect we're going to go into maybe a 7th minute or that time. Romagna urged to play it forward. I wonder if France will send Wendy Renaud forward as a full striker. England would send Bright forward. Now Kelly will look for Kirby. De Almeida across for Kirby. Latches on. Can she try and get that third for England? Instead checks back. Here's Kelly. Kelly has got eyes on that corner. But France win it back. Katoto. In goes Bright. Couldn't quite win it there, England. Kelly goes in on Geoffrey. I'll tell you what, there's not been too much between these two countries over these 2 matches. 2nd in the world against 3rd in the world. De Almeida will look for that ball out towards Cascarino. And there's Carter across, and into the crowd it goes. There'll be another ball. Béchot. And Walsh tried to ease off the ball, but she couldn't do it. Carter there again. Haven't been able to get past her tonight, France, and that is not what they needed. Béchot can afford a wry smile. England so close.
England so close, and after that first half performance, I think they deserved the win today. Yes, France have been better in this second half, but overall England have definitely edged it, and I think if France scored a late goal now, it would be absolute heartbreak.
Football doesn't always care for feelings. And France, do they have one more chance in them? Williamson won't take any chances now. Into the crowd that one goes. But here's Russo. Doing what she's done all game. Make sure she secures possession and then keeps it up the pitch. De Almeida. Toletti. France do look a lot better with Toletti at the bottom of their midfield. Geoffrey, but there's Walsh. Now, will England go for the corner, or they go for the real winner? A third, perhaps, Renard, and that will be a corner. Music to the ears of England supporters.
Interesting decision there by Keira Walsh to go direct, to go for the goal instead of just keeping it in the corner. That's why she's one of the best. That's why she plays for Barcelona, because she makes the right decisions in the right moments, and that turned into the right decision because England have now won a corner where they can definitely keep the ball in that corner spot.
Say it again, where's Chloe Kelly? Corner taken short by Hemp. And they got that one wrong, England. And that's given France maybe one more chance. Perromagna goes long. Bright just needs to win this header. Doesn't quite, but there's Bronze. Forward it goes. Absolutely no chance of short passes out from the back right now. Serena Wiegmann waiting for the final whistle, but it has to be remembered that Basha went down in added time. We're a minute over that time as it stands. Here's Diani. Revenge best served in St Etienne. England have managed to win in France for the first time since the 1970s. A fantastic performance from the Lionesses, and one that has them back in charge in this qualification group. The final score in France is France 1, England 2.
A big win tonight in St Etienne for the Lionesses. Georgia Stanway getting on the score sheet in the first half, as well as Alicia Russo. The damage really was done. They managed to weather a bit of a storm in the second half and a comeback from France. But wow, what a win. The first time England have won in France in 51 years. And look how important it could prove to be as well. France obviously still top the group. They are on 9 points. But they've dropped a big amount of points tonight and allowed England right back in. Sweden are just ahead of England on goal difference. Then we are third, and then you've got Republic of Ireland at the bottom of the group there. Listen, it's very important because the next round of games, obviously, Sweden, by the way, beat Republic of Ireland 1-0 earlier on. France have to play Sweden, so someone's going to drop points in that. And then the last game of the season, of course, is going to be, or the last game of the group is going to be England against Sweden. It could all come down to that. Let's hear from Alicia Russo. She played a big part in tonight's win. Brilliant game. She's speaking with Katie Shanahan.
A hard-fought win, but how good were England tonight?
Yeah, I think we got our standards back to where we wanted them. There were still parts that we'll work on for sure, but yeah, that's a performance that we want to keep going forward now. And we know the level's higher than ever, and we know that to do anything at the Euros to even qualify is going to be harder than ever. So yeah, we're proud. We'll have a little bit of a rest, and then we're back in July for another massive camp.
Was that one of your best performances in an England shirt?
I don't know. I'll have a look back at it after. I think when you're in the moment, you're kind of so focused on the game. But no, I was pleased. I just tried to do what I could at moments. And France are a top side. I'm up against some of the best centre-backs in the world. So I'm just trying to hold up and, yeah, try and disrupt their play out of possession. And obviously nice to get on the score sheet as well. But, yeah, we created a lot of better chances tonight than we did last time we played them.
Ian Wright and Karen Carney were full of praise for you in the studio regarding your link-up play and also being rewarded with your goal. That must be nice to hear from two greats of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is really nice. I think for me, I'm just trying to work hard. Obviously, strikers get counted on their goals, and obviously that's massively important to me. And I always want to keep working on that. But I think I'm learning that there's so much more to the 9 than... Obviously, that's the most important thing, but there's loads of things that goes around it with it as well. And yeah, just trying to work on my game each day and hopefully see it come to life a little bit.
And this win must give you guys plenty of confidence heading into July's qualifiers.
Yeah, it does. I think we just spoke as a team then. We know that our standards have to be higher. We've probably let them slip a little bit in these past few qualifiers. But we know the talent we have. We know the potential that we have as a group. And yeah, we saw a lot more flashes of it tonight.
Congratulations, well done.
Cheers.
Wonderful performance from her. Great performance from England as well. We wanted them to step up. We hoped they would, and we did see really positive things.
I mean, the first half was the best I've seen England play for a long, long time. It was flawless. Second half, a little bit different, but nevertheless, we got the result, and that was the most important thing. But I thought first half, and we did speak about Russo. I know you're going to go on and speak so much about her, but it was a brilliant performance from her, but it was from everyone. Everyone did well.
Ian, they did put themselves under a little bit of pressure, allowing France back in on that penalty.
Yeah, that was, again, we got ourselves in a position where we're trying to play out where it was very tough. France were in a good position. I think Ella Toon came into you see the space she's got. But then you can see there's really not too many options. Can Georgia Stanway get closer? Can maybe Kira go into a position where she can pop it off to her? But you come back inside, and this is what can happen. You can get punished, and we did get punished for that. And those are the kind of the little mistakes at this stage of the game that you don't want to make. Maybe that ball should have just gone up the field, and then we turn around, and then maybe we go again. But we kind of gave them an opportunity to get back in it. And I think after this, I thought we done very well to make sure that we saw it off, to be honest, Loz.
There was a moment as well. All eyes would have been on Hannah Hampton tonight and how she would have filled the boots of Mary Earps, who was injured. And slight moment from Georgia Stanway, and a clearance which, again, got us into a little bit of trouble. But Hannah Hampton put out a brilliant save.
It's unbelievable save. As you said, she stepped in tonight, and these moments, define the game, actually. I don't know what Georgia Stanway's doing here. I literally have no idea. I think even France was shocked. They know whether they thought it was a player. I have no idea what she's doing. Kicked it away, and then obviously gives possession to France. And I'm still trying to figure out, and she's ushering people up, but then this is the experience. France start to play. And from that decision, Stanway, he's an experienced player, Georgia, they start to play and they start to break us down on this right-hand side. No one's putting pressure on because I still don't think we know what's going on. OK, break them down, gets in behind, runners in behind, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh, my God, they're in here. Great ball across. I think Lucy Bronze does enough, but there's that save.
She's going the other way as well,
That is an unbelievable save, you're right, because she's going the wrong way, strong left hand, palms it away. But honestly, Georgia Stanway needs to go to Hannah Hampton and say, thank you, mate, because you've dug me out of one there, because that is an unbelievable save.
I can't understand that there. I couldn't understand that clearance.
She's got a little bit of credit in the bank, though, because she did score a brilliant goal of her own in the first half. Yeah. So this is set up really nicely for us to go back and remember the good times and the good play in this game.
Well, I think that her and Ella Toon done very well. We didn't see too much on the ball, but they've done a lot of tracking. But this is where you want to see Georgia. When you look at the save that we just saw from Hannah Hampton going the other way, goalkeeper's got no chance for this. I think her position's not good. The ball's not gone in the corner of the goal, but at the same time, you can't take anything away from Georgia's strike there. It was a fantastic strike on target.
And Alessia Russo, we just thought we'd show you some of her best bits as well, including that goal that came in the first half as well. It was needed, wasn't it, to get that confidence together and get a little bit of a cushion against France?
It's not easy when you're playing that lone striker, and at times she's had to hold the ball up, pin players, travel at big distances. This is what I've really been impressive with, the pinning of the defence and then getting other people involved. This was for the second goal, so she started it and gets in a great position in between. Probably doesn't get the best of contact with her head, but what she does is it bounces and then causes the keeper a problem, and she gets her just rewards because of how good she's been. Brilliant ball in between, and there's the head there. But I think that is Alessia Russo's best performance I've ever seen in her. I think she was good in the World Cup, really, really good. But tonight, her overall, all-round performance was just outstanding.
I think what was interesting as well, Loz, is when she said there's so much more to learn about the nine, and we're seeing it. We're seeing the work, what she's doing.
Yeah. Do England play a little bit better when they're under a bit of pressure, Ian?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like, because I think that coming off of the game the other day and how poorly I thought we played, coming into this game, I think we were a little bit sharp with our passes. We seemed a little bit more ruthless with the chances that we were taking. And, I felt like our chests were a bit up simply because we realised we can hurt these lot. And we did in the first half. And I think that I'd like to see us play a little bit more football and feel a little bit more comfortable sitting here. But at the same time, I thought they dealt with that pretty well. Apart from silly things from Ella Toon giving the ball away, Georgia Stanway giving the ball away. Those are the things at the latter stage of the games that we have to cut out. Yeah. We could have easily lost that game there or drew that game, which would have been a disaster.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great, I have to say. They are growing into things, and it's like you said at the beginning of the game, isn't it? Before the game even kicked off, it's coming to the end of their season and sometimes a bit hard when you haven't got something like the Olympics that's going to get all your adrenaline up and ready.
It's not easy to, like I said at the start, they're preparing, as you mentioned, France are going to home Olympics. It's not easy for an England team to go away to France under pressure, to go there, get 2 goals and get a result. They did that. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant performance.
Yeah, France home and away, they've done it the hard way, but the Lionesses obviously have managed to win that game in France, which is a feat in itself. We're going to hear from the orchestrator, Serena Wiegman, the England manager, very, very soon. I'm sure she'll have great things to say to her team. A 2-1 win away from home and in a group that is a difficult one to get out of for the Euros. Have they done enough? 2 more games to come in this group and we'll hear from her next.
Shoulder to shoulder as they head towards the line, and Pedersen gets it and takes the victory.
Peter Wright lights up Copenhagen, the Nordic darts master.
Jumbie moving to the lead, and Jumbie wins the Donegal, and Sea Silk Road is going to score in the Sky Bet Leicester Figure Stakes. Mitchell, brilliant, and that's the game. Twitching and calling, bringing on back the good times. British
British Touring Car Championship is go. An outstanding performance. Jake Hill wins, and a great drive it was as well. The stage 6.
So it begins.
The biggest stage, the biggest names.
Absolutely sensational.
So much sport coming your way on ITV, including the Gallagher Premiership final, which is Northampton Saints against Bath. That's on Saturday at 2:25 on ITV1 and STV. Make sure you don't miss that one. Meanwhile, in St Etienne, a big win for England, a really important one, 2-1 over France. France haven't lost in France for a very long time, so a great win. Let's hear from Sarina Wiegman, the England manager. She's with Katie Shanahan.
Sarina, a tough but really important victory tonight. What pleased you most about that performance?
A team effort, and that, of course, you know the second half is going to be different because you're 2-0 up. But and they are going to push. But yeah, we worked so hard to stay together and keep the win. But more things gave me some joy tonight, I have to say.
Was one of those Alessia Russo's performance, her overall contribution? She got the goal, but her hold-up play was really impressive as well.
Yeah, she's working so hard on that, like holding on, but also being in the right positions in the build, being in the right positions when we come in the final third. And yeah, you saw today, and I thought Friday she played a proper game too, especially a little deeper on the pitch in the build. Yeah, you see how important that is, because then the team can move up too.
Were you disappointed, though, with how you let France back into the game? They are a really tough side, and you held on right until the end, but that penalty must have been a big setback.
Yeah, like, you know they're going to press, so sometimes we're playing out, and there are lots of moments they have to get over their press because they were really chasing us, and yeah, we have to make better decisions in those, and then being a little calmer. Skip players, and now we played into their hands a bit, and of course we know when they win the ball there, they have so quick players that are so quick. So yeah, that's we want to take those moments out, of course.
Does this win, though, give you a real boost regarding automatic qualification ahead of next month's qualifiers?
Yeah, of course that gives a boost. You want to win. And we are in a better position now, and the group is totally open. We said from the beginning this is a really tough group with top level teams, and it's exactly what you see with Sweden also, and Ireland, who is very hard to beat. You saw that. Well, I didn't see it, but we heard that tonight. So yeah, it helps when you win, but most of all, we did better than Friday, and I think Friday we played parts of the game really good too, but in final third. And in our own final third with the corners, we didn't do well. And today we conceded the first corner, I think, 17 minutes, 68 minutes. So that was already a lot better. And I think the first half, I think that's one of our best halves we've ever played. Also, sometimes playing, sometimes going behind quicker. I think we created around 6 huge chances to score goals. So that was really good.
Plenty of positives. Thanks so much, Sarina. Well done.
Thank you.
I reckon Karen Carney could be England manager, because basically she said exactly the same as you. So well done. You're an excellent pundit, aren't you? Yeah, excellent.
I'll leave it to
pundit.
Sarina.
Look, she called it a team effort, lots of positives, everything she kind of wanted to see. Thought it was interesting as well about the idea of just getting a little bit more confidence in the side as well, because it could have knocked the stuffing out of them in St James's Park.
It could have, yeah. But I think that she was right. It was a good team effort, because apart from, I'd say, Alessia Russo was a standout player of the match, and Anna Hanson's great save. I think it was a whole effort, you know. Thought Leah done well with Millie, who've come back from big injuries, and I just think that coming off of such a disappointing loss the other day, to beat them, the first time they've been beaten in how many years, in France, is a brilliant effort from the girls.
I want to say England haven't won there in about 50 years, and France haven't lost there at home in 21 games. So it's a big win, and it's so important in terms of their Euro hopes and things like that, Karen.
Yeah, it did, but I think you're right. You mentioned it earlier, we're better when we're under pressure. But that shows that we are a big team, big players, and that we sometimes need that little bit of a rocket, but we are a top team.
Nothing wrong with that, as long as you make sure you qualify. Let's hear from Georgia Stanway. She got on the score sheet in the first half, one of 2 England scorers. Let's see what she has to say. She's speaking with Katie Shanahan.
Georgia, an important victory. What worked particularly well tonight?
I think we were just on the front foot from the beginning. We knew that the other day wasn't bad, but we just knew there was a few things that we had to tweak, and I think we did that today. We exploited the space that was behind them. I think at times their forwards and their midfields cheated a little bit, so that gave us space, behind their back. But yeah, we just battled for 95 minutes. We made sure that we weren't leaving this stadium without a good result, because the way that we left St James's Park was so disheartening and so disappointing that we need to get back to our game. We're still not at the level. We're not satisfied with how this week's been, but today's a massive step in the right direction for us.
Let's talk about your goal. That was an absolute rocket.
Should have done it again in the second one, but that went wide. So, that'll eat at me, the fact that I didn't put that one away. But, I had some really good talks following the last game on just how I can adjust my positioning, how I can help in possession a little bit more, because I wasn't so overly happy with my performance in the first game. But, today I can be proud and I can be happy. And, I put a shift in both in and out of possession tonight.
Is there a sense of relief after tonight's win, especially heading into next month's qualifiers, because this is a really important victory tonight?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. We knew how important it was for us to get the 3 points. We knew that it wasn't going to be easy, and obviously when you're holding a 2-1 with 15 minutes to go, you know that the French are going to be putting balls in the box, they're going to be challenging us. That just shows how strong we are. It shows that the things that we faced, that we can get those results. But the 3 points is massive. I'm not so sure on the Sweden-Ireland result, but that's a really, really big win for us today.
Well done, Georgia. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It'll certainly settle the nerves inside the camp and also the fan base that are watching. 2 games left to go in this group. And a reminder as well, it's a really, really tough group. These next fixtures that we've got to tell you about, England are going to be taking on the Republic of Ireland. That one's in Carrow Road on the 12th of July. And then the last game of this group is going to be against Sweden, a really, really hard one. How do we think those are going to go? Republic of Ireland, we know they've got one superstar at least in there, in Katie, but the Sweden one's going to be the really difficult one, righty?
Yeah, maybe. But I think that the fact that we're going to have a lot of possession maybe against the Republic of Ireland, I feel that we should make sure we take advantage of that. But the Sweden game will be a tough game because we know they're a good side. But I think what we've seen with what we're capable of doing here, like you mentioned, even under pressure. If we're not under pressure, I'd like to see us be a bit more ruthless. But I think those 2 games, I feel quite confident we can win them both.
Kaz, what's the best approach? Do you stay with your team that's now settled and winning, or do you allow some of the others to come in that game against Ireland?
No, look, there's no room for error, and I think this group tonight has shown a solid performance. You have to stick with them and keep building on that and keep giving Leah Williamson and Millie Bright more minutes because they've been out for a long, long time. Keep building them back in, but tonight was a solid performance, and I think the only team that really beats us is ourselves. When we apply ourselves like we did tonight, I think we're unstoppable, but it's can we keep that consistency up? Can we see the hunger there that was showed by Georgia in the interview, that we can't have what happened on Friday? We need to be on it.
We might have a change between the sticks again in the next game because Mary Epps might be available. Hannah Hampton did a great job tonight, but other than that, we might see the same team. Guys, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much. I loved your company tonight. Plenty more sport coming your way on ITV. Following on from us, the Isle of Man TT highlights. That's coming up here on ITV4. Saturday morning, we begin a bumper-packed day at Haydock Park with the opening show previewing all the racing. That's at 9:30 ITV4. Then the live racing coverage gets underway 1:30, including the feature John of Gaunt Stakes. Later on the day, Gallagher Premiership final, Northampton against Bath, 2:25 ITV1 and STV. Next Friday, we kick off a summer of football on ITV. The Euros begins, Germany against Scotland, 6:30 ITV1 and STV. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Me and Righty are going to be there. Karen's going to be out in Germany soon. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.